Last time we spoke about Kenan and Kel, we went over the shockingly weird way it ended. A fun little series I do once in a while here on the channel that I have a new entry in coming next week. But for today, I wanted to revisit one of my favorite shows of all time, Kenan and Kel, and speak about its Christmas special, Merry Christmas, Kenan. An interesting episode of the show in general that showcases our main duo in a light that they usually wouldn't be shown in. So welcome back, or hello for the first time, to the 25 Days of Fringemas, where I cover something interesting, nostalgic, or holiday related every day from the 1st of December to the 25th, in order to find that holiday spirit I lost nearly a decade ago. So if you want to be a part of my daily journey and help me find that good old jolly joy, subscribe and come aboard. We start off with the usual opening banter between Kenan and Kel, now featuring some Christmas decorations, a nice subtle touch. Kel is hyping up the audience for Christmas, and Kenan, well, he's not as into the whole holiday thing as much, thinking it's really nothing special going on. So to bring more holiday cheer, Kel makes it snow and has a sleigh appear. That was not intentionally meant to rhyme. Now Kenan thinks it can be a very Merry Christmas, jumps on the sleigh and leaves per usual for, oh, here it goes. We open the main show with the Rockmores decorating the tree, and Kel over there trying to hang an orange soda as an ornament. In the kitchen, Kenan is hard-fixed looking at a mountain bike that he really wants. Rather than ask for this as a present for Christmas, he's going to buy it for himself, as he's been saving all of his money for the past year. But because of that means he's not interested in buying any gifts for the rest of his family or Kel. Kel, walking back to the other room, helps Roger put up the star on top of the tree that is usually Roger's main tradition to do. So Kel messes it up and knocks down the tree and sticks the star on top of Roger, right before getting chased out of the house. Later on now at Rigby's, Kenan is inundated with Christmas carols from a customer that is overly joyful for the season, and he really doesn't want to hear it anymore. I agree with you on that. He quickly shoves her out of the store as Chris comes in with an electric plug-in animatronic Santa. But Kenan instantly goes on break to find Kel singing carols with some lady in the back alley behind the store. So Chris is now left alone inside plugging in the Santa with no help from Kenan, and then it starts attacking him. And I love that between the scenes of him coming in, it's a fake plug-in Santa, to then later on now it being a real person in a suit beating him up, it's a clever and funny choice overall. Kenan doesn't come and help because he went on break and then decides to ditch going back to work to head to the store to see that bike that he really wants to purchase for himself. But Chris will be okay. Some kids walk in and see the attack happening, but they just stand there and cheer on Santa to win the fight.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
What will Kenan talk Kel into next?
Oh, here it goes.
Find out. Catch an extra Kenan and Kel tonight at 7, 6 Central, only on Nickelodeon.
Now at the store, Kenan is just there staring at the bike he's been wanting. He hands $100 to the employee to place the bike on hold, and he says he'll be back in a moochie.
Moochie!
He then sits on the bike to test out what the feeling of it would be in imagining having it himself. When the employee comes back, he says, you can't touch that until it's fully paid for, sir, in which he has only a couple of days until Christmas to do so. While they're there, Kel brings Kenan over to the toy section where he finds and gets excited over a tubaphone, which is exactly what it sounds like. There also happens to be a Santa in the store talking with the children about what they want, as one demanding kid just pelts Santa in the face with his fist, resulting in Santa being taken out of the store. The owner of the store, in a panic to replace the Santa as the kids are getting angry, asks Kenan to play Santa for $100, which would be almost enough money at that point in full to pay off his bike. So he agrees to do so. And without further ado, here comes Kenan Santa and Kel the Elf, or as I prefer, Kelf. So they start meeting with the kids and everything is going great. Kel even tells Kenan that he's doing a really good job at this. And Kenan says it's way easier than working at Rigby's, which, speaking of which, we cut back to and Chris now has a crowd of people watching him get beaten up by Santa. The holidays. As the line goes on, Kenan is shown to be really good at this job. But the next kid who comes up asks for a bike. Not for him, but for his younger sister, who just had hers recently stolen and the mom couldn't afford to buy her a new one. He doesn't want anything for himself, just for her. So Kenan says that he'll do his best, and the little girl gives him a big hug. The mom comes over to speak with him, basically saying that yeah, she'll have to come up with a way to let her down easy, and they don't actually have the money to get her a new one. This line from her sits pretty heavy with Kenan, who now back at Rigby's feels weighed down with those thoughts. Chris comes in though, fully covered in injuries from his Santa beating, morning with paychecks in his hand and hands Kenan his. Now, with enough to purchase the bike, he runs back over to the store to pick it up. Before he hands over the rest of the money he owes for the bike, he notices a father purchasing a bike for his daughter and the joy she feels from it, cementing in his next decision. Now, dressed as Santa once more, he sneaks into the home of what turns out to be the same family from the mall. How does he know where they live? Good question. I don't know. The mom comes out and immediately spots Kenan as they startle each other, waking up both of the kids who now come running out to see Santa. He bought them a bunch of little gifts like a CD player and a stuffed bunny, but then Kenan opens their front door to bring in a brand new bike for the little girl, and even one for the little boy for caring so much about his sister's happiness rather than his own. The kids are beyond happy and excited for it, while all of this was at the expense of Kenan getting the bike that he has been wanting and saving for a long time. Now on Christmas Eve, Kel and Chris are over at the Rockmores as the family lets the kids open some gifts the night before. So Kel has Kenan open his present, which turns out to be a battery-powered pair of underwear that heat up and keep you warm. Kenan has Kel open one to him from him, and surprise, it's the tubaphone from the store. Once again, it's exactly what you think it is. Chris and Kel head out for the night as the rest of Kenan's family tell Kenan how proud they are of him, as Kel told the rest of them what had happened. He brushes it off as no big deal and doesn't seek any praise for doing so, even commenting on just saving for another year and purchasing it for himself next Christmas. They all decide to head to bed for the night. Kenan does a little detail of first walking to the door and locking it real quick, which is a fun little quirky thing. I just get a kick out of it. I think it's funny. Some strange guy dressed in red and white, however, sneaks into the house after the lights go out, leaving the bike Kenan wanted all along under the tree for him to wake up to, and then quickly leaves after that. So unless that's the original mall Santa doing that deed, Santa in this universe, in the world of Kenan and Kel, is real.
It's a double helping of Kenan and Kel.
Wow, I'm in wrong with a capital. Wow. I do. Ooh.
This episode overall is pretty sweet for the show, giving Kenan a nice moral compass that results in him doing something selfless and making a family happy while they are going through tough times, with the money he had been saving up for himself. Kel also isn't in any way the root cause of any problems. He's just there, still making references to orange soda and still doing silly things, but not at any detriment to Kenan or others around him. Aside from Roger with the whole tree thing at the beginning, he does actually help Kenan and gives him compliments for the way he's been handling being Santa. It's all very wholesome and sweet, making this a very nice-spirited holiday special. Sure, it ends with a little bit of magic with Santa or some reverse burglar, but the messages this episode represents gives us what brought joy to Kenan. He didn't complain about doing the good deed. He didn't go around telling his family about what he had done. He came to the idea of doing this on his own, immediately thinking about it after speaking with the kids. And when in the store before making his purchase, sees the joy that it brought another kid. Yeah, Kenan's not the best employee, literally letting Chris get beat up and left to run the store on his own multiple times. But other than that, it's nice seeing the good in others for the pure joy of being good, not for notoriety or kudos. This really does represent a nice spirit of the holiday that made me feel good watching it. Something easy to digest that reminds you that doing something selfless is its own gift. Not in a material sense, but a gift for your soul.
Spirit is out there. The spirit is real. Listen to the spirit.
C. Call SC. I feel like it's trying to tell me something. Let me know your thoughts on this episode of Kenan and Kel. Is it a go-to feel-good Christmas classic for you? Join the chat in the comments. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter. Or else you're not as nice as Kenan doing a selfless act. I'll see you tomorrow with another video for my next day of Fringemas. Check out the playlist to keep up with the month, but until then, later.